he's been here for 8 seasons. It seems that it's only this season in particular that people are talking about just what a good footballer he is. He's always been mentioned as a good footballer, but now he seems to be getting praise on another level. Do his performances warrant it?
Yes.
Has he gone up a gear?
I would say that he's revelling in the way that Pep plays. I think he's relishing the role. He's never been quite been given this role that he's had. I think he's had very similar roles, but maybe not the one that he's got right now. And there's total football going all over the pitch, which just suits him because he is technically probably the best technician in terms of receiving the ball and manipulating the ball in the Premier League. So, he's enjoying the way they're playing, and I think he has gone up a notch this season. Yes,
he's my favourite Premier League player at this moment in time. He's never been named in a Player of the Year, Team of the Year or something like that. It's amazing because
why is that?
Because I think we were talking about it before. He goes about his business in a quiet way. He's up there. For me, he's up there with the Scholes, he's the Gerrards, the Lampards, in terms of the effect that he has on his team. I think if you was Jose Mourinho and you said to him, look, if you could pick one player out the City team to weaken them, who would you pick? I think he'd take David Silva. I think he's that important to how he knits everything together because I played against him towards the end of my Everton career and we decided to mark him with Jack Rodwell. Jack Rodwell couldn't get near him, he got booked after 5 minutes. I then swapped because Jack was on a booking. I went to man marking, I was booked after another 5 minutes. You just cannot get near him. The positions he takes up are absolutely incredible. And for such a small guy, I think what Pep said then, he's so tough. And I think what he's added this season, he's added more goals to his game.
I think the one thing we were saying is about being efficient and going about his business. I said to Phil, I spent most of my career trying not to be at times, trying to be do something that was more noticeable. And when you look at like a De Bruyne, for instance, he doesn't play in the same fashion, He's more of like a wow moments and power plays where he'll burst through with the ball, he'll shoot, he'll score, he'll make one pass in a game which will just be completely outstanding, whereas Silva will just constantly have quality. And I think it's a great thing to say, knit it together. He really does knit how they work together.
I think you're right. I mean, Jesus has wow moments and Aguero has his goal. David Silva is constant. And I think he has been for the last 8 seasons. I think his form has very rarely got below a certain level.
But it doesn't get you as recognised, does it? And that's the thing. It just doesn't quite get that recognition to allow you to stand out. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're there to perform. You're a showman, aren't you? People are paying to watch. That's the game. It's a theatre in a way.
If you're picking a team of the year in the Premier League and you say central midfield, you would go for Scholes, Lampard or Gerrard or Xabi Alonso. Or if you was picking a number 10 or a centre forward, you go for the Bergkamp. So he was always lost when you was picking your team of the year, when the forms come to the dressing room.
Good point.
Your forms come to where can you fit him in? Is he a winger? Well, you probably have Giggs as a winger. Or if he's a right winger, well, no, you probably have somebody else. He would always fall between positions because he's not a central midfield player, he's not a centre forward. But
what is he?
He's just a brilliant footballer. You could play him anywhere.
Does he have a
pitch.
position?
I wouldn't say he plays free because I think he does a good job for the team. I just think he knits everything together. He's the type of person that he'll be first pick in training every single day. David Silva.
But I think that's a good question because I'm not sure if he has a position now, and I think that's why he's so good. I really feel that.
Who would you take, De Bruyne or Silva?
But you see, when I look at it, I like De Bruyne. I love watching De Bruyne. And when I watch things that De Bruyne does, they're wow moments. Like I can appreciate David Silva totally, and I can respect how good he is because I think he's world class. But there's just something about when De Bruyne plays, it just stands out for me, and it's just in watching that is amazing.
If you was picking a team of the year now, probably De Bruyne would be probably the first one. If you was picking a central midfield, you'd probably pick Kante and De Bruyne central midfield. You wouldn't pick David Silva. He probably still wouldn't get in the team of the year this year, even though he's probably playing his greatest ever football.
Yeah. What does that say about either us or him? I mean,
he's unlucky.
But do you think that's part of the reason why he is so effective on the team? I mean, you've both played in defence, you played in midfield as well. How do you pick him up? Whose job is it to pick him up?
He can go under the radar.
He can't.
He can go a little bit undetected, can't he?
He can't pick him up.
He drifts into places and
no,
you're like...
I unmarked in one game and literally, you think to yourself, he's small, you can get into him. He never allows you to get close to him to make a tackle. The minute you get close to him, he pops it off, he moves his position. The ball's there and he's always behind you. He's such an intelligent footballer. He's incredible.
I think one of the best things he does is he constantly uses his body as a barrier. Because he's not the biggest, if you want to get to the ball, he will always manoeuvre the ball into an area where you have to go through him to get it. So you're constantly fouling him.
Yeah.
And you're going to be booked within 5 minutes and then you're in trouble. And he just uses his body brilliantly.
And you can't man-mark him. No, but I've heard people say this year or on Sunday, will Herrera man-mark David Silva? I think he tried to get near him, but he couldn't quite nullify the threat of him linking everything together.
He's been in the Premier League now for 8 years. He's won 2 Premier League titles and various other trophies. Where does he stand then when you start to list those greats, Gerrard, Lampard, or does he not get on that list either because you don't know what he does?
He doesn't get a mention.
But does he for you though, Phil?
He does for me.
OK.
He does for me because I've been a big fan of him ever since the time I man-marked him. You know, when you play against someone that you think, wow, he is a special player. From that moment, I thought, and at this
wasn't
moment,
just a bad day for you, I feel.
Well, I had many bad days, you know what I mean? But what I say is, you thought to yourself, he is a top player.
Yeah.
And
in the same way you would say about Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes?
I think if he did evolve, I don't think probably Silva would get in the top 4 or 5.
But
what do you think?
No, I think he's in the top 3. I really do. I think he's that good.
But what's the main reason you think why he wouldn't be
because
with
of that
Gerrard?
wow moment that you're talking about. Scholes had wow moments, Gerrard had wow moments, Lampard scored goals. What Silva doesn't have that 40-yard screamer, the even 2-footing someone getting sent off is sometimes it's a wow moment.
Definitely.
Silva just goes about his job. He's like calm water in the Caribbean Sea. Oh, he is. He's special. It's like your jacket.
Yeah.
What, worthy of attention? Well moment.
Special, Jeff.
Definitely not calm.
Hey, we all like big checks. Don't knock that.